Gotta find an intro.
Yo, what's going on, everybody? Tuning in to the Outside Podcast here tonight. Getting ready to give you a bunch of sports and everything tonight. Major topics going on. So let's kick into the intro beat. You know how we start off. Start y'all off with some smooth music, some smooth beats. Everybody that's tuned in, thank you for tuning in. Hit that like and subscribe button for us on the Outside Podcast. And we will be right back. Everybody that's tuning in, hit that like and subscribe button for us, man. And the show will be starting here soon. And 10,
come on through.
9, 8,
let's get it.
7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Let's get it. Welcome to the Outside Podcast. All right, we're going to give you the NBA rundown of the scores tonight. So let's get it, the NBA rundown, man. All right. First things first, we're going to talk about the game that is live right now, and that is the Heat versus the Kings. The Heat with a 17-16 record, and the Kings with a lowly 17-19 record. The Heat right now on top of the Kings, 36-21. Tyler Hero making a 3-point jump shot right now to put the Heat up by 5. Man, what do you think? You think gonna win this game, man? At the end of the night, man, the late night game, the Heat versus the Kings.
I think the Kings, and I think the Kings need a win, and we're gonna get into some news about the Heat here a little bit later on. So, there's a reason why the Heat are 17-16 and 7-9 on the road. So, they usually struggle. So I expect the Kings to come back and win this game.
Yeah, I expect the Kings to come back and win this game, man. Hey, the Kings might have some news on their own. If they can't get it together, De'Aaron Foxes might want out of there. So it is what it is, man. I think the Kings are a way better team than the record shows. And hopefully they can get back on track, man. The Heat versus the Kings. Let's see who wins that game by the end of the night, man. Next, we got on board the Trail Blazers versus the Pistons, and the Pistons getting back to 500 with an 18-8 record. Right, the Pistons are a huge surprise, man. Beat the Trail Blazers 118-115, and the Trail Blazers are lowly 12-23, man. So, what's going on? Here with the Trailblazers, man, with those guards that they had, those new guards that they drafted, you would think the Trailblazers are a little bit better than what they are, man. It seemed like a little underwhelming team. I thought they would be a team, on the rise. They had some things going, but it seems they just can't get it going.
Yeah, they stink, quite frankly. I mean, what can we say? You know what I'm saying? Got DeAndre Ayton over there. They still got Scoot Henderson. I mean, it just, and then they got this kid Donovan Clingan they drafted. I'm just poor roster. They really need to develop their young talent because it's a very young team. So it ain't going to get turned over overnight. When coming from having McCollum, having Dame, and having that group over there for as long as they did, it's going to take a while for the Blazers to get back to where they were.
Yeah, especially losing Dame Lillard and McCollum, traded their 2 backcourt mates, but I thought they drafted some pretty good some guards to replace them, man, and Green and all those guys, but seems it's not working out the way they wanted to work out. But you got to trust the process, man, and hopefully they get it together, man. Hey, one of the big games of the night, the Suns versus the 76ers. The Suns going through their turmoil. They're under 500, 16-18. Very disappointing with a Kevin Durant, Booker, Bill, Jokic. They got a whole squad out there, but they did get the victory over the 76ers with Joel Embiid and them out there on the court. And the 76ers are underwhelming. They're 6 games under 500, man. Man, what's going on with these two teams? What Phoenix with the victory tonight?
Yeah, Phoenix getting a dub tonight, and I mean the Sixers no Joel Embiid. He's here and there. You know what I'm saying? Like usual. You know what I'm saying? And that's usually how the Sixers are. They're here and there. Sometimes they on point. Usually they're not. As their record shows. 14-20 in a weak Eastern Conference. And that's for the Suns. We watched the Suns play, bro. The Suns just got a bad mix of players. They got a bunch of talent that just don't add up.
Man, don't play well together, to be honest with you. We were watching them at the NFL draft one night, man. I was so frustrated watching them, man. It's, I don't know, man. All these teams that Kevin Durant goes to, man, they seem to underwhelm for some reason. Great player. One of the greatest of all time when he retires. It's just weird that they always underperform when this guy's on the court, man. I think he needs to take a more of a leadership role. I don't know. I can't question his leadership, but I can't question the way his teams play. I don't just weird, man. They never win down the stretch. They never come up with victories they supposed to. And then when they do get into the playoffs, they underwhelm. It's just weird. And you got Bradley Beal, you got Jokic, you got all those guys. Like, what's going on?
You're right. They Kevin Durant lacks leadership, and you see that a fan of the Nets, I seen it up front, and that's the problem. And even in Golden State when he won, he wasn't Steph Curry and that team was together. That team had leadership. Kevin Durant got over there and just jumped on for the ride. Yeah, he played well, but it wasn't like that team did not have leadership, man, to hold it down. So
yeah, it's just weird, man. Yeah. But hey, those two teams underperform. Suns get the victory tonight, 109-99. And we got to see what those teams do down the stretch, man, because both those teams have championship aspirations. And it's just sad that both of them under 500, which is crazy. Right. Hey, the very next game, your Nets playing.
Here we go.
Here we go. Another loss for the Nets. 13-23 on the season, lose to the Pacers 113-99. The Pacers finally get over 500. Tyrese Halliburton and the Pacers at 19-18. You think these guys can make some noise in the East, man?
Indiana, no. Absolutely, positively, no. I don't think they're better than the Knicks. I don't think they're better than the Celtics. Not better than the Cavs. They're down there. Now, can they win a playoff series if things shake right? Yeah, I do. But much like last year, the problem with the Pacers is they can't defend very well. They don't play very good defense. For all the points they put up and for all the things they do on offense, as you see Obi Toppin there with the slam, they just don't play very good defense, and you need defense to win playoff series. So I don't see them making no noise in the East, to be honest with you.
Man, I actually agree. I think when Tyrese Halliburton is your superstar and the guy that you're trying to lead this team with, and somebody like the big guy that they have, Turner, who I do not believe is an actual big man. I think he's a guy that just wants to shoot a bunch of threes. He thinks he's, and one out there half the time. I don't see them competing with somebody like the Celtics or somebody like the Knicks or the Magic or the Cavaliers or anybody like that, and not even the Raptors. Even the Bucks, who are struggling right now, I don't see them competing with them. I just think they're just a team that's in flux right now, and they need an actual leader on this team, like Tyrese Halliburton as a secondary option to go to that could put up some points for you. But as far as this team being a competitor in the East, they're far, far away from it, just like your Nets, man. I think, but the Nets, you can't really blame the Nets. They got rid of all their players. They have a young team, and they have a bevy of draft picks coming up in these drafts coming up. So what do you think about the Nets moving forward?
Nets, of course, traded for D'Angelo Russell last week, and still involved in trade rumors as they plan to continue this rebuild under Jordi Fernandez. But what I see on the court is a team that fights hard and plays tough every. They only lost 14. They only lost by 14 points to a Pacers team that is fighting for the playoffs. And I'll give you the starting lineup for the Brooklyn Nets tonight: Zaire Williams, Noah Clowney, Nick Claxton, Tyrese Martin, Keon Johnson. Names you did not hear: D'Angelo Russell, Cam Johnson, or Cam Thomas. So to have such a weak lineup tonight, and this has been a trend, with the Nets, especially since Cam Thomas been hurt. But to have such a weak lineup, they do fight and they do play hard and play tough. So I expect them to continue to move off some players and continue to build this roster, get draft picks, get assets, and hey, maybe you can land a big fish down the road. So we'll see.
I think the Nets will be okay, man.
Mhm.
You guys go out there and get you a leader. And I always say get a leader because you need a leader in everything that you do as far as trying to build something. Go out there and get you a leader. Maybe you could keep Cam Thomas and have him as that secondary option. Like I consider him in the Tyrese Halliburton category. He could be that second option where he could put some points on the board. Not as good as like a Devin Booker or somebody like that, but he can light the scoreboard up at any given moment.
Absolutely.
So the Nets, you guys shouldn't be worried about anything. You should be looking towards the future. And hell, you're doing a lot better than what I thought you would be doing right now anyway at 13-23. But
hey,
keep playing.
Peep game. We only 3 losses worse than the 76ers.
That's a fact. So y'all keep playing hard, and we'll see what the Nets do in the future. But the Pacers, they got some work to do, man. All right, the very next game, the New York Knicks staying in New York. 3rd straight loss to the Orlando Magic, 103-94. They have a 24-13 record now, while the Magic are right behind them at 22-16. My, sleeper pick in the East this year, the Orlando Magic. They have some injuries, but they're fighting through those injuries, staying above water, staying above 500. And when Mr. Banchero comes back,
yeah,
I think they're going to be a huge problem, man. But the Knicks having a slide. Looks like, Mr. Thibodeau is back up to the old tricks. He's playing his players 40 to 45 minutes a night. I think the Knicks may be a little tired. They got a home stretch, lost the first game at home, which is not good. But I think the New York Knicks are going to be all right, but those guys are going to have to start getting some rest, and that bench is going to have to start playing well enough to give those starters some rest because their bench play has been absolutely woeful the past couple of games, and that's the reason why they're losing. But what do you think about it, NYG?
Knicks a little undermanned tonight. No Karl Anthony Towns, so got to take that into consideration. But so was Orlando, you know what I'm saying, without the Wagner brothers and of course, as you mentioned, Pablo Banchero. But as a just looking at these two teams, I think the Knicks, when healthy, are a top 3 team in the Eastern Conference. So I'm not worried too much about the Knicks either, if I was a Knicks fan. But Orlando, you gotta kind of get a little bit concerned. You don't want to fall too far in the East. You know what I'm saying? So they do win games like this is a boost because when they get healthy, look out.
They're gonna be a problem.
Look out.
I'm telling you.
Look out. So they staying afloat like you said, but it's gonna be tough, man. I don't know when Banchero is due to come back, but they're gonna need him soon. They can't afford to dip too far. Right now Orlando is 4th, but you got Milwaukee and Miami right on your heels, as well as these Pacers. So yeah, good job though, Orlando, man. Good win, man, for the Magic tonight.
Good win for the Magic tonight. Go to 22-16 on the season, staying above water. And when those Wagner brothers and Banchero come back, look out. I'm telling you. All right, to the next game. The Bucks get a much-needed victory over the Toronto Raptors. The Raptors are 8-28 right now. Don't know what's going on with them. And the Bucks just staying above water at 18-16. I'm very disappointed in the Bucks so far this season, man. Even though they got the victory tonight over the lowly Raptors, you're supposed to do that when you got Greek Freak, when you got Lillard, when you got Middleton, when you got Lopez, when you got all these guys, Bobby Portis, all these guys out there on the court that have playoff experience, championship experience, and they're just a weird team, man. And that doggone Doc Rivers, man, every time he goes to a team, man, they do not do what they're supposed to do. But they did tonight, getting the victory over the Raptors. What's your stance on the Bucks, man?
The Bucks ain't no good. I mean, sometimes it just is what it is. Gotta call a spade a spade. It's not a good team, not right now. And Doc Rivers, man, that is, hey, man, it seems to follow him, But again, it's the same old thing with a lot of these teams. You can't chase the stars all the time. They had a perfectly good point guard and Drew Holiday. And then I like the coach. What was the coach? Budenholzer, I think.
Mm-hmm.
Got rid of them and you got Dame Lillard and Doc Rivers. It's what you asked for. So they ain't going nowhere, to be honest with you. And Giannis might be on his way out.
There's a team in Chicago that will like you, Giannis. I'm just saying.
Team in Brooklyn that will like you.
You ain't lying. But yeah, Bucks get a victory over the lowly Raptors tonight. Ain't too much to say about the Raptors, man. They are absolutely
they trash.
Woeful.
Hunt for that number 1 pick.
Yep. And they'll be fighting with the New Jersey Nets and everything. So yeah, right now they have
Brooklyn Nets,
have more.
Man.
Yeah, Brooklyn Nets.
Yeah. Hey, what are you doing?
Right, Brooklyn Nets, I guess. But right now they have more ping pong balls in that little lottery thing than the Nets right now. With only 8 victories on the season. As you see, they're getting rained on by Brook Lopez and them, and they lost tonight to the Bucks.
Yeah,
128-104. And speaking of my Bulls, at 17-19, performing way better than anybody gave him credit for coming into the season. Lonzo Ball trying to work his way back in for the Bulls. They get a victory over an up-and-coming Spurs team, 114-110. Spurs at 500 with Wemby and them out there. The Bulls actually upset the Spurs, man. I think we got a nice little backcourt, man, with Kobe White, Lonzo Ball. If we could keep Zach LaVine, man, look, Kobe White jamming it on people out there, baby. Let's get it. You know what I'm saying? I think the Bulls, if we just got to be consistent and stop getting hurt. You know what I'm saying? And play up to the competition when you got to play higher competition. You know what I think is wrong with this Bulls team, man, is the belief in themselves. You're a good team.
Yeah.
You have defense, Patrick Williams, Vujacic, those guys coming off the bench. Lonzo Ball getting healthy. Zach LaVine, he's not a superstar, but he's a guy that you could count on to put some points on the board. We traded away my boy that went back to the Kings. The power forward. I can't think of his name right now, but the mid-range monster. We traded him away, but
you talking about was it Harrison Barnes?
Nope. I can't think of his name right now, man, but he cold. But the Bulls are a good team, man. They just got to play together and believe in themselves, man. You'll see the Bulls beat teams like the Spurs. They'll beat somebody like, they'll go out there and beat the Knicks. They beat the Knicks twice in a row. You know what I'm saying? So it's just a team that needs to believe in themselves, man. They have to believe they're a good team before they actually turn into a good team. And they got a nucleus.
I want to ask you a question about the Bulls. What's up with Lonzo Ball? Like, where is that going?
Zoe, man, they got him on a pitch count a little bit. I'm saying he re-aggravated a little something. But if that dude can actually get healthy and stay healthy, we are a very good team. He's a very good defensive player. He runs the point guard like a point guard's supposed to. And he's become a better shooter. And we could beat teams like the Spurs. We could teams like the Knicks. We could compete with the Celtics when we're on our game, man. It's just that they have to believe in themselves. I just don't think they believe in themselves. Josh Giddey, even though everybody say we got fleeced in the trade with Caruso and everybody out there, I think Giddey is a player that could become a 3-and-D guy and be a valuable piece to, one team. But we just got to believe in ourselves, man. And that's just a fact, man. We're a good team. Just don't believe we are.
Yeah, and if you're the Spurs, I don't know if you we're gonna get into some NBA trade rumors here in a little bit, but I don't know if you wanna make, because right now you teetering, you 18-18. You know what I'm saying? So you got Wemby, you got an old Chris Paul, over there. You got some young pieces, man. But do you make one of those moves and try to swing for the fence? Right now they're in 10th in the Western Conference. So you chasing Minnesota, Golden State, the Clippers, Mavericks, so on and so forth. So I have to wonder that about the Spurs. Do you make a move here at the trade deadline and try to get Wembanyama some help?
That's a fact. You do try to get Wembanyama some help at the trade deadline, even though I think they got some very good core young players. But if you want to go to a championship, man, you're gonna have to get Pop another, general to go out there in the field with Wembanyama, man. And I think Wembanyama is coming better and better right before our eyes, man. He's getting more physical down there. He's trying to block more shots, even though he got dunked on by my man White right there. That was crazy. But Wemby's becoming more of a, all-around player. At first, he was just trying to shoot threes and everything, but now he's like all over the court now. And he's a rebounding monster. He's protecting the rim better against bigger and stronger guys. He's passing, he's shooting. Like, Wemby's him, man. Wemby's going to be a very good piece for that San Antonio Spurs team. Going behind, the shadows of David Robinson and Tim Duncan. He has some very huge shoes to fill. Both of those guys were Hall of Famers. Both of those guys were considered the best big man in the league at one time. And he's well on his way to do that, man. Wembanyama is dope. And I can't wait to continue to see him build on this confidence that he has. Because once he gets confident and he knows he's a superstar, it's a wrap.
Mm-hmm.
It's a wrap, man. That dude can play.
Most definitely, man.
But
all right, who we got next?
On to the next game. My Mavericks lose again. Did not have Luka or Kyrie in this game against an up-and-coming Grizzlies team, who I like the Grizzlies with Jackson and all those boys out there. You know what I'm saying? John Morant. Yeah. All those guys out there, man. I think this Grizzlies team could be a championship caliber team, man. And they beat my Mavericks 119-104 tonight. My Mavericks, we just got to get healthy, man. We're 20-16. We're keeping our head above water. And when we get our two generals back, maybe we could get back in the finals, man. But this is one team I would not want to see in a 7-game series if I'm the Mavericks, man. You know what I'm saying? I have to see what Likely and our other big man could do against Jackson and those boys out there, because those boys be balling, man. But what you think about these two teams, man? Grizzlies with the win tonight with the Mavericks.
Yeah, if you're the Grizzlies, man, definitely is going to hinder a lot on what Ja Morant is, whether he can stay healthy, whether he can stay out of trouble. And I'm gonna tell you one thing, and I'm always give credit where credit is due. Shout out to Leaf Diggy, who was a huge fan of Zach Edey, because Zach Edey has made a huge difference with that Grizzlies team over there, man. Zach Edey, the big man that they drafted in the draft last year, double machine, you know what I'm saying, putting up numbers, you know what I'm saying, in his rookie season. So definitely helping that Grizzlies front court out there in Memphis. So shout out to Leaf, man, for being on the Zach Edey train, because it looks like he was right, man. Kids turned out to be pretty good so far.
Yeah, I don't understand why there was so much hate for Zach Edey coming out of college, man.
I just didn't want him as on the Nets. We didn't need that fit, because we already got Claxton, we got Clowney, we got a couple other big men. I was looking more towards the guard. That's why, me and Leaf was kind of having a little debate there, but nothing wrong with Zach Edey at all as a player.
Yeah, man. 7'4", 7'3", almost as tall as Wemby. long arms. He can defend the paint. He can get rebounds. He can get those garbage points. And he can get 10. He can consistently get you at least 14 points to 14 rebounds a night, as long as he gets the minutes, man. I like Zach Edey coming out of college.
He's averaging 11 and 8 right now in the season, shooting on 60% from the field. So,
and if he was able to get more minutes, he would. I'm telling you, he would average 14. I'm telling you, that's the type of dude he is. But they got Jackson and everybody over there. And what a support cast to come off the bench for you, man. You got a 7'4" guy that could come off the bench and get those rebounds. As you say, if your bench is not shooting well, you get the ball right back to him. I mean, Luke Kennard coming out there shooting. Man, this Grizzlies team, man, they put it together and keep their heads on straight. That can be a problem, man.
Most definitely.
But I do still choose my Mavericks if we're healthy, man. But hey, they beat us tonight, 119-104 without Kyrie Irving and Luka. All right, on to the last game in our NBA rundown. The Timberwolves going against the Clippers, and the Timberwolves get a 108-106 victory over the Clippers. The Timberwolves are only 18-17, a little disappointing. The Clippers are actually doing better than what I thought they would be doing at 20-16, even though they lost tonight. What's going on with the Timberwolves, man? You got my man over there. My names are bad. Man.
Oh yeah, Julius Randle.
You got Julius Randle,
and Anthony Edwards.
You got Naz Reid. You got Gobert. You got old man at the point guard. He could still play a little bit. Came from the Jazz. You know what I'm saying? Mike Conley. You got your your two small forwards that back you up. What's going on with it? It's a lot of teams over there in the East that are very disappointing when I'm thinking about it.
Yeah, man. But Minnesota.
But Minnesota, I don't get it.
Yeah. They made the trade with the Knicks, trying to upgrade. I think it's pretty even, to be honest with you. But hey, it's a tough league, man. The Western Conference is tough. And it takes time for teams to mesh as well. It definitely takes time for a team like that. The Knicks just apparently meshing a little bit quicker than Minnesota. But they're still there. They're not out of it. They could definitely get on a run here late in the season. I like this Minnesota team. I like the tough grittiness that they play with right now, still in the mix right there with the Clippers, who they beat tonight. Only a game behind them, 9th in the West right now, the Timberwolves are. So, hey, sometimes you got to play catch up, you know what I'm saying? And get healthy at the right time and get going at the right time. So, I'm not too worried about Minnesota. But you would think they would have a little bit better of a record.
Yeah, you would think. They got your other boy from the Knicks too. What was his name? Hartenstein or
DiVincenzo.
DiVincenzo, there you go.
Yeah.
DiVincenzo. I thought he would bring in some three-point shooting to that team. But hey, shout out to James Harden and Powell holding down the Clippers until Mr. Injured Man could come back. Kawhi Leonard, he didn't play again tonight.
Does he ever?
Right. Shout out to them dudes for holding it down, man, and having the Clippers at a 20-16 record, man. James Harden has been playing some basketball this year. Bringing that retro Harden back, see a step back three right there was off. Might have been a foul, but it is what it is, man. But the Clippers, man, they're going to be a dangerous team, man, if Kawhi Leonard can actually get healthy. So we'll see what they do in the future, man. And that was your NBA rundown, man. All the scores tonight. we'll see what this NBA season turns out to be, man. But that was your NBA rundown, man. And we're going to start getting into these topics, starting with some NBA news. We'll be right back after these commercials.
You unlock this door with the key of imagination. Beyond it is another dimension. A dimension of sound. A dimension of sight. A dimension of mind. You're moving into a land of both shadow and substance, of things and ideas. You've just crossed over into the unpopular zone.
Welcome to the NFL All 32. Right, we are back after a couple of words from our sponsors, man. NFL
Yeah.
All 32, the Blacktop Podcast, New York Giants,
Yeah, we
man,
got it
Unpopular
all for
Talk,
y'all.
Unpopular Zone. Man, we putting in work for you guys, man. We just want to showcase some of the work and some of our sponsors for the show. So, NYG,
Yeah,
what
man.
you got for us with the NBA news tonight, man?
So, Jimmy Butler, man. There's some news here about Jimmy Butler wanting out. Of course, not playing for Miami right now. He just wants out. He just wants out. Suspended by the team. I think 7 games, and he would literally rather be anywhere else. Jimmy Butler says so. Jimmy Butler not playing games, wants out of South Beach, but the thing is, who wants Jimmy? You know, who wants Jimmy? That's what we gotta ask ourselves. So we got y'all covered right here on the Blacktop Podcast. We're gonna see where Jimmy Butler might possibly end up, as well as some other trade rumors here. But let's start with Mr. Butler here. So this article right here by Fanside, this website AUCH, ouch.
Right.
Ouch. So a trade for every NBA team ranked by likeliness, I should say. So couple teams, they get out the way real quickly here, of course. Bucks, not impossible.
Literally impossible, like
literally impossible. So we'll scroll away. Timberwolves, same thing.
Literally impossible.
Technically possible, but will never happen. Can you imagine that?
Jaylen Brown for Jimmy Butler?
Jaylen Brown.
Hell
Yeah.
No. What?
Yeah, Jaylen Brown. The Pistons get Josh Richardson. Yeah, not happening. Knicks. That's interesting.
Karl Anthony Towns.
Yeah.
Next.
Not happening. Same thing here. Pelicans, Brandon Ingram, McCullough, a 2026 first round pick. Pelicans get Butler, Duncan Robinson, and Pele Larson. Nah, not doing that one.
Doesn't make sense for the Pelicans.
Nope. Sixers, Paul George. Nope. Don't make no sense. All right, the Cooper flag sweepstakes. So now we starting to get a little bit more interesting here. Raptors. He get Bruce Brown, Kelly Olynyk, and they giving up the farm just to get just.
The Raptors get absolutely hosed in this deal. You gonna hold Jimmy Butler for a team that's 8-28? They ain't going to no playoffs or nothing. What you gonna do with Jimmy Butler out there? Nah, I don't like that trade.
The Cooper flag sweepstakes. That's what they're gonna do to complete the tank. Because they ain't going to have nothing.
Yeah, but they got to give up their first round pick. Well, it's a 2026 first round pick. Okay.
Yeah, you can't give it up in back-to-back years. So, Wizards. Jimmy Butler, Kyle Kuzma, Malcolm Brogdon, and 2 first-round picks. Says the only way the math works for this trade if Washington gives up Kyle Kuzma and Malcolm Brogdon, but they have no reason to want to improve.
Yeah. It doesn't make any sense.
Yeah. So, Blazers giving up a haul as well to get Butler. Yeah, I don't see that one happening either.
Not giving up Anthony Simmons.
Anthony Simmons, no.
Neither am I giving up Robert Williams. A good big man. Yeah,
not doing that. Utah, John Collins and Colin Sexton and 2 first-round picks. Says the Jazz want to go after Cooper Flag. Trading Butler will hurt their chances of accomplishing that goal. Therefore,
that's a fact.
There's no there's no reason to do that. Doesn't make sense. Some more doesn't make sense. The Hornets Miles Bridges, Josh Green. Oh no.
No, you're getting rid of your whole core for around LaMelo Ball. No.
Here you go. Here you go. Here's one. Here's an interesting one. Lonzo Ball, Patrick Williams. I can't pronounce this cat's name.
Dosunmu.
And 2 first-round picks.
Now, I'll speak on this one real quick. Since Lonzo Ball is injured a whole lot, and Patrick Williams, he's not what we thought that he would be when we drafted him. I would hate to lose Dosunmu, but a 2029 first-round pick and a 2031 first-round pick to pair him with Zach LaVine, Kobe White,
ain't too bad.
That's not as bad as a trade as all the other ones.
Bringing Butler back,
Butler back. Yeah, I think a motivated Jimmy Butler will make this team a whole lot better, and we will have somebody, that leader that I'm talking about, to where Zach LaVine doesn't have to be the leader, and Zach LaVine can just turn back into the scorer that he is. Kobe White can handle the point guard, and Jimmy Butler could be the closer and that 3-and-D guy that I was mentioning earlier. You know what I'm saying? That's actually a trade that I would consider. Trade I would consider.
Okay. Yeah, I don't think it's too bad either. The article says no reason for either team to make this deal. Chicago Bulls. It would be a cool story to see Butler back in town, but they aren't in position to win right now. So, all right. Pacers. Pacers get Jimmy Butler, Kevin Love. Heat get Miles Turner, Obi Toppin, Aaron Nesmith, Jarris Walker, and a first-round pick. The Indiana Pacers would actually be a very intriguing landing spot for Butler, but the only way for financial gymnastics to work would be giving up 4 players, including their only healthy center outside of Thomas Bryant. Yeah, I think that's too much. If I'm Indiana,
I still pull that trade.
You do it?
I pull it. Miles Turner's not giving me anything. Obi Toppin is not something that I'll be crying about. Naismith and Jarris Walker, I'm not crying about them. And you're giving up a first-round pick 4 years from now. So I actually would do it if I considered if I want to be a playoff team.
Does that trade put you there though? You know,
it doesn't put you there, but I'm not giving up any first-round picks until 2029. So I'll still have my first-round picks to pair with Jimmy Butler, who will be the leader of this team, and it will allow Halliburton to be what he really is a scorer.
Yeah. Make a good argument.
I actually like that trade. I like that trade just like I like that trade for the Bulls. It allows your scorer just to be a scorer. And you have your closer with Jimmy Butler. You have leadership. You have more defense. Yeah, I like that trade for the Pacers. You can replace an Obi Toppin and a Miles Turner. I'm sorry, you can.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, you get Kevin Love, so I mean, I guess.
He'll go on his farewell tour.
Yeah, he's on his last legs. But Atlanta, he get DeAndre Hunter, Zakier, Riacher, Larry Nance Jr., and 2 first-round picks. Still's a bit wonky. Atlanta Hawks are having a surprisingly solid season, but adding Butler could potentially help make them help them make a playoff push. But while the young core they have rolling, trading some of it for an aging star doesn't make much sense.
Yeah. Especially you don't know if Ice Cold Trey is going to stay. You know what I'm saying? I'd be killing the Knicks, boy. That'd be funny, man. He'd be shooting dice on their logo and everything. Ice Trey be killing the Knicks, boy. I love Ice Trey, man. And if Ice Trey wants to go to greener pastures, that trade definitely wouldn't make sense. So, I don't like that trade for the Hawks, man. Me personally.
I would think about it, but that is obviously contingent on what they're doing with Trae Young, because like you said, the scorer, you know what I'm saying, that needs somebody a little bit more tougher in the backcourt. to help defensively, you know, because man, Trae Young be getting cooked on defense too.
You see, you see, Knicks passion, what up? They hate Ice Trae. I'm telling you, Ice Trae be killing y'all, bro.
But yeah,
brain.
I don't actually mind that for the Hawks. Imagine Jimmy Butler and Trae
Man,
cooking the Knicks in the playoffs.
Well, man, they meet the Knicks in the playoffs with Jimmy Butler and Ice Trae. Y'all might be going home again because earlier than you expected. But
no bull crap.
That trade only makes sense if Ice Trae is locked up.
Yeah, no doubt. All right. Says would make a little sense if they weren't dominating. Cleveland. Yeah, I don't know if I mess with that Cleveland team right now.
I'm not messing with nothing Cleveland got going on.
They are cooking right now. But Karis LeVert, Max Strus, I just think keep jumping around. Dean Wade, 2 first-round picks.
You losing all the bench play with Strus and LeVert. I'll tell you that.
Yeah,
now. You're losing a lot of bench play with those guys.
Hey, you still got your 2 big guys, Mobley and Allen. You still got
Spider
and Garland. So I don't know.
Spider, Garland,
no
Butler. Yeah,
Mobley,
and Mobley. Yee.
Jeez.
Man.
I'm telling you, bro.
Man, but your bench though, man.
Yeah.
Your bench. You got me coming off the bench. But that starting 5 is nasty.
Nasty, yo. I can't hold you.
Oh,
I like this one. And you're only giving up 2 firsts.
They don't even care about first-round picks anymore in Cleveland.
Right now. You know what I'm saying? So I like that one. Okay. OKC. Oh my God. Woo.
That's too much.
That's a lot of picks.
Yeah, Lou Dort be balling. Isaiah Joe be balling. Aaron Wiggins be balling. You're giving up a 2025 and a 2026 first-round pick and a 2030 first-round pick.
Yeah.
You lose your whole bench for Jimmy Butler. All those Shy and Jimmy Butler on the court at the same time.
I kind of like this one too, though.
That starting 5 is ridiculous too.
Yeah, bro. I kind of like this one too, man. And then they got what's the big guy over there? I always lose his name too.
His name, he be balling.
But yeah, yep, I like this one too. One team shouldn't do it, but rumors exist. I can't stand this trade.
Yeah, that means you're giving up what you know.
I can't stand it.
No. Leave everything with the Nets alone, man. You don't need another superstar. You went that
now,
way.
Cam Johnson, I mean, he's gonna get traded probably anyway, but like you said, bro, this is not the time to be doing this stuff.
No, man. Build. Start a process, man.
Yeah, and I mean, I'm not trying to give up Cam Thomas either. I'm not trying to give up Cam Thomas. You know, now the picks, we do got a lot of them. So, fortunately enough, man, thanks to the Knicks. So I'm not too concerned about the picks, but I'm not letting go Cam Thomas.
No, I can't, man. Can't let it go. Cam Thomas is the piece that you need to be that microwave shooter once you get your leader.
Yep, exactly. You know what I'm saying?
Only way I do that deal is if I can keep Cam Thomas. You know what I'm saying? Yeah.
Now, if it's just Cam Johnson and Bogdanovic in the deal and them 2 firsts.
Yeah, peace.
Okay, Phoenix. That's a team we talk a lot about.
Man, what do they need?
Get Bradley Beal, and 1, 2, 3 first-round picks, and then they throw us going to be a 3-team trade with the Pistons getting Josh Richardson. Phoenix will have to get very creative in order to offer the Heat a fair package for Butler And even if they did, any deal for him would have to involve them sending out Bradley Beal, who they just benched. Yeah,
That's a win-win for the Heat. The Suns.
Yeah.
You gotta hope that they win a championship this year if you make that deal.
I
don't like that deal at all.
No, not for either team. Interesting, but just not there. Jimmy Butler, Josh Richardson, the Heat get Norman Powell, PJ Tucker, Terrence Mann, Derek Jones, and a 2029 first round pick. This is a weird deal. Yeah, it is a weird deal.
Only reason why I would say no to this deal is because Norman Powell has been showing that he's a very, very good player. Norman Powell has stepped up tremendously for the Clippers. And he's way less than Jimmy Butler, and he's younger than Jimmy Butler. So Norman Powell has shown that he can play some ball. And then Jimmy Butler and Kawhi Leonard is almost like the same type player on the court.
Yeah.
You know, so but Kawhi Leonard never played, so who knows?
Yeah.
Who knows?
Maybe that's what this is. Maybe you just gotta replace Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? Not replace him, but
have somebody in there that could come and do the same things.
Yeah, because he's never going to be there. So, the Pistons. Now, this is interesting too, because the Pistons seem like they're a little bit of an ascending team right now. The Heat get to Tobias Harris, Tim Hardaway Jr., Ron Holland II, and 2 first-round picks. I think this move, would be good. I mean, they got Cade Cunningham over there, so Jimmy Butler could be there to kind of mentor the young kid. Hey, and you are on the come up, Detroit. Finally, the Pistons and the Lions are on the come up for Detroit, man. So
shout out to Detroit. Hey. And I actually love this trade because Josh Richardson and Jimmy Butler can give you what Tobias Harris and Tim Hardaway Jr. has been giving you, and actually give you a little bit more, a lot more of what Jimmy Butler over Tobias Harris. So yeah, and you're not gonna be worried about first round picks here in the future, and that's way in the future in 2028 and 2030. Yeah, I actually would make that trade.
Yeah, I agree. Ooh, what about this one, man? This is one of your sleeper teams, bro. Magic get Jimmy Butler, and the Heat get Jonathan Isaac, Cole Anthony, Anthony Black, and 2 first-round picks. But pairing Jimmy Butler with the with Franz Wagner and the brothers.
I'm making this trade immediately.
Oh my God! Bro.
I'm making this trade immediately.
Now I like Cole Anthony. You know what I'm saying? Shout out to UNC, but man, yeah, bro.
I'm making this trade immediately.
That's sick.
And I signed me a veteran point guard. And Jonathan Isaac, the other Wagner brother, can replace what he does. The one that's coming off the bench. Yeah. I like that trade immediately.
What about this one? Kings. DeMar DeRozan, Kevin Huerter, Devin Carter, 2 first-round picks.
I just think the Kings are in flux, man. I just think the Kings are a better team than what they're playing. They just need to start playing some ball. That's it. I don't like this trade at all. You get rid of DeMar DeRozan for Jimmy Butler. They're doing the same things, basically. Jimmy Butler is a better player, but not getting much in return. You know what I'm saying? You're getting the same thing.
Yeah, and then they got rumors around Fox. I don't know. I don't know about this one either.
You lose a Kevin Huerter who gives solid points off the bench? No.
All right. Your Mavericks. Solid ideas, but something is off. Mavericks get Jimmy Butler, Heat get Klay Thompson, PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, Dwight Powell, and a first-round pick.
Nope.
What's your thoughts on that?
Nope. Can't lose PJ Washington, Daniel Gafford, and Klay Thompson. But Jimmy Butler,
yeah.
And then Jimmy Butler, he's gonna have to play offhand because Luka is gonna control that. And if it ain't Luka, it's gonna be Kyrie. So no, you need to leave that alone. Get healthy. Let's go make another finals push. We made the finals without a Jimmy Butler. Nah, that'd be like the Suns.
Yeah, I don't like that chemistry. I don't like the idea with that chemistry, bro. Yeah, something don't smell right about that one. Like the thing said, I don't. Yeah, I ain't doing this deal. The Nuggets. This is kind of interesting. So Denver gets Jimmy Butler. The Heat get Michael Porter Jr., Zaki, and Julian Schroeder, and a 2028 second-round pick. Pistons get Dario Saric. So the only way for the Denver Nuggets to trade for Butler would be to get a third team involved. The Pistons right now with the most cap flexibility. Could be an interesting idea for Denver. They've been looking for a spark. Butler would give them that. The 10 of Jokic. Butler could definitely compete in the West, and I would add Jamal Murray to that as well. That's a pretty good lineup.
The only thing I worry about that is the meshing. There's another mesh thing.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I don't know. Don't know about that one.
Yeah, Butler, Butler's tough.
Yeah.
He's a tough guy, man. But, definitely has got to be the right fit with this guy. You're right. How about Memphis? Grizzlies get Jimmy Butler. Heat get Desmond Bane, Luke Kennard, first-round pick, and 2 second-round picks. Says this may be one of the better deals of the bunch. At least one question unanswered. Why would the Memphis Grizzlies mess up what they have going on? I mean, they don't got a whole lot going on.
I don't
still
think
behind
Memphis
OKC. So I don't think they need it either, but
I wouldn't do it because I have a great young core, and I'm not getting rid of any of my core players for Jimmy Butler.
And there's something about Butler and John Morant that worries me. You know what I'm saying? Like, for real, bro. All right, let's wind this thing down. San Antonio Spurs.
No.
Yeah. I'm not putting Jimmy Butler with Wembanyama.
No.
But I don't know. They are a French playoff team. Could give them a little boost there.
No, I'm building. I don't need an old Jimmy Butler coming over there.
Yeah. The LA Lakers, who are in every trade rumor every year, it seems like.
Man, I don't give a shit about the damn Lakers.
But that's what they're giving up.
You're gonna give up Austin Reeves, Vanderbilt,
2 firsts.
Hell no. You're ruining the whole future of the Lakers with this trade.
The Lakers get Jimmy Butler and Alec Burks.
Nah, man.
Yeah, nah. Now we're down to the best offers. Rockets get Jimmy Butler. Heat get Steven Adams, Reed Shepard, Jabari Smith Jr., Deshaun Tate, and first-round pick. Butler goes back to Texas, and the Rockets improve their chances of a deep playoff run. That's a win-win. Houston could do a deal with Dylan Brooks and keep Reed Shepard, but this would help them maintain their defensive front.
Yep. Yeah. I actually like that trade the very best. I'm glad they put that as number 1.
Mm-hmm.
And tier 1, as a matter of fact. And tier 1, that's the best trade I've seen.
Mm-hmm.
He will actually fit in well with them, and he will give them that playoff experience going into the future. with Fred VanVleet and the boys over there. Yeah, that's one of the better ones I've seen.
Yeah, because
the best one I've seen.
Right now, the Houston Rockets are sitting second in the Western Conference, believe it or not, man. And this trade could very well put them right there with OKC.
Mm-hmm.
So
that's the best deal I've seen so far.
Jimmy Butler gives you, that 3-and-D wing that everybody covets in the NBA nowadays. Older, but still can get it done. And I believe this is the final one right here. The Golden State Warriors. He'd get Andrew Wiggins, Gary Payton II, Kevin Looney, Jonathan Kuminga, and a first-round pick. This idea has been floating around quite a bit since Butler rumors popped up. Pairing him with Steph Curry would be a very competitive team out west, and this is a deal the Warriors could definitely consider.
I like this deal too, but I would try to see if there's a way I could keep Jonathan Kuminga.
Yeah, I don't want to.
I don't want to give up Wiggins and Kuminga. Mm-hmm. Even though Josh Richardson is cool, he would be a very good bench player coming off the bench for him. But I like the trade, but gotta give me somehow to keep Jonathan Kuminga because I'm losing Kevin Looney, one of my big men that actually gets rebounds for me with the Warriors. So if I'm gonna put that much pressure on Draymond to play big man, you gotta at least let me keep Kuminga as another wing player to pair with Butler. So yeah, I want to keep Kuminga. If I can't keep Kuminga, at least let me keep Andrew Wiggins. You see what I'm saying? You got to keep one of those wing players.
Yeah, I see. Here's what I don't like about this. It's a decent trade, but with Jimmy Butler, Draymond Green, and it's just like I don't like these teams that's got all these big personalities. You know what I'm saying? Like they usually don't. I don't know. Like with Golden State, be able to handle that. With Jimmy Butler.
Golden State, one of the organizations that can handle it. Remember, they handled Kevin Durant, Draymond Green, Steph Curry, and Klay Thompson at one point. I would
hate a locker room with Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green. That is scary.
But they got a lot of young players. You know what I'm saying? It's not a bunch of old personalities.
They could be trading them all away. Well, some of them anyway within the trade.
You know what I'm saying? I think it would mesh, and he would bring that toughness, a little bit more toughness to that Warriors team because that's the way they're going to win, with toughness.
Yeah.
Because they ain't going to out-finesse you like they used to anymore. Mm-hmm. All their finesse players are gone.
Yeah. Yeah.
I actually love that trade if I could keep Andrew Wiggins or Jonathan Kuminga. If I could keep one of those guys, I'm making that trade every time. Because they have nothing but NBA championship aspirations because they older now.
They have to, yeah.
They have to.
They got to get it done, And I know Jimmy trying to get it done too.
Yeah, Jimmy trying to get a ring. So, of course, he's going to be on his best behavior over there with them.
Yeah, man. So, let's get into a couple more trade rumors here. So got Zion Williamson. Yeah, man. Zion. There's a lot of talk about his contract here in this article. I'm not gonna read everything, but he is under contract until 2027, 2028. Has a lot of money on his contract, but here's the interesting thing, and I want to read this out because it's something that's kind of you don't see in the NBA a lot. New Orleans paid Williamson as a franchise player, but included language that protected the franchise if Williamson missed more than 22 games in the 2022-2023 season or the 2023-2024 season. He missed 53 games in 2022-2023, meaning Williamson's salaries in the remaining three seasons, 25-26, 26-27, and 27-28 are non-guaranteed. Wow.
Wow, I've never seen that in the NBA.
This is one of the best contracts in the NBA. And yeah, so they if you trade for him, you're not on the hook for that, pretty much.
Yeah.
Now I'm gonna ask you this: given all the injury history and everything with Zion Williamson, still a young player, I think still a good player when healthy. Would you make a trade for Zion Williamson of your team?
Yes, if I'm a team with championship aspirations, not a team that's looking for him to be the guy. Now, let's say some miracle that my Mavericks can trade for him. If we could give up, Gafford, Dwight Powell, probably have to give up about 2 first-round picks, maybe a couple of bench guys like Hardy. I would literally do that. You put Zion Williamson with Likely down there, with Klay Thompson, Luka, and man.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? Like, these are one of the players that I can't stand. Not saying I don't like Zion Williamson as a man or as a player.
Mm-hmm.
It's those players that are just so good, but they stay hurt. That stuff kills me, man. It kills your team because you're going into every season and then the dude gets hurt and it derails your season because you're basing everything off this player's skill set. He's one of those type players when he's the leader of the team. But if you put him on a team where he's just a part of the team and he's not the focal point, that team can literally win a championship.
I have to agree with you on that, man. The thing about Zion Williamson for me is the fact that it is the injury thing, but it's also, I mean, you kind of paying for what you get. It's a reliability thing. You know what I mean? It's a reliability thing. Can I rely on you? He had the weight issues. He's had the injury issues. Can you be relied upon to do what I need you to do to go out to be the best player you can be? If you're doing that and things still ain't working out, it is what it is. But if you're not doing that and you can't stay on the court and there's a reason for that, then yeah, I don't want you a part of my team.
Yeah, that's why you got to hit him with this soundbite.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Facts.
Not as your number one guy.
All right, moving on to your Bulls, Zach LaVine. We just talked about Chicago. I'm gonna let you comment on this one. This Zach LaVine has been in trade rumors for a couple years now.
Like 3 years now.
So, does it finally get done? And do you think they should be moving on from Zach LaVine?
You move off of Zach LaVine if you have no future with him as far as being a complimentary player to another, focal point star if you're trying to bring him to Chicago. Just seeing it on there, him to Denver for Michael Porter Jr., I would do that most definitely because he's a more consistent scorer than Michael Porter Jr. And Michael Porter Jr. is not the rebounder that you think that he would be. Him going to the Pistons would be magical. Him going to the Rockets would be magical. Him going to a team to where he's just a scorer, you know what I'm saying, would be dope. But as far as him being the leader of a team, he's another guy.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
He can't do it if he's the focal point of the team, man. And you have to, consider moving off from him and trying to get you a star to come in there that can really lead the team. He's not a leader per se. He's a scorer. You know what I'm saying? I wouldn't be mad if the Nets wouldn't got him.
I don't want him. No. Nope. Don't you put that evil on me.
Okay.
Nah, man. I'm good on Zach. Yeah, y'all can keep him in Chicago. De'Aaron Fox. Another one who's been in rumors for a few years now. Says it's likelier Fox is available next offseason rather than this upcoming trade deadline. Reported by Mike Stein last week that Fox is not considered to be available right now. He also reported that it's not automatic that the Rockets, a reported interest in party in Fox, will go after him this offseason. So, yeah, I think De'Aaron Fox is a good player, but something about him, something about some of these guards in the NBA today is just like, I feel like it's the James Harden era, the Russell Westbrook, that ball hog era. You know what I'm saying? Trae Young, he played that same style, that chuck and duck. You get a little bit of that from Fox. But if I'm a team, I'm definitely inquiring about De'Aaron Fox, man, because if you're a team that just needs that final piece in the backcourt, and you can get him for a decent deal, why not? But the Kings might not be interested in making that move.
Sorry to keep doing this to you, but I would like him on the Nets. It would literally give y'all that point guard to start off with, Cam Thomas. But he is one of those guys that he's a point guard that's going to put up a lot of shots. He is one of those guys.
I know. And I don't need that because we got that in Cam Thomas. We need somebody like more of a pass first point guard, more of a leader on the court type of point guard to pair with Cam Thomas. I would like him to be able to score and shoot the basketball as well, but I don't need the point guard that's putting up. I don't need a Russell Westbrook type of point guard. Even though Russ, had his numbers and his assists or whatever, we know he was shooting. You know what I'm saying? So, same thing with Harden. I don't need those type of guards. You know what I mean? Cam Thomas is a combo guard. So is De'Aaron Fox. Give me a true point guard for the Brooklyn.
I can understand that.
All right. Speaking of the Nets, Cam Johnson, good segue. Cam Johnson putting up nearly 20 points a game on 43% shooting. Has been hurt as of late, but this one's kind of been out there for a while now too. I do expect this to probably get done. According to Stein, the Pacers are a team to watch. Also mentioned the Grizzlies. Of course, they already moved off of Finney Smith to the Lakers.
D-Lo.
I don't. I guess it's the contract thing with Cam Johnson. Like Nets paid him, and it's just, even though he's playing well, you could do without him. You could free up some of that money. And he's under contract for 2 more years at a pretty team-friendly average annual salary of $21.5 million. But it ain't really that team-friendly if you rebuilding. You want to start putting pieces together through the draft, and building up assets, and then once you got your team kind of put there together, then you go for the home run, kind of like the Rockets, OKC. A lot of these teams have done it that way. Thoughts on Cam Johnson, man?
I actually like to see him go to the Pistons.
Okay.
I think the Pistons, I think he'll fit in well with that culture over there with the Pistons.
Yeah, I would not mind that, actually. I would not mind that. I do not want to send him to the Indiana. I don't like the Indiana Pacers.
I don't like them either, bro.
I don't like the Indiana. Don't trade them to the Pacers. The Grizzlies, I don't mind the Grizzlies, but don't trade them to the Pacers. I would not like that. Be upset about that, but the last one we already talked about, and that's Jimmy Butler. Not going to go through that again. But that's all I got for this portion of the show. if you want to go to a commercial break as we get into the NFL part of it.
Hey, what better than to play the New York Giants Full Access Live? Is another sponsor of the Outside Podcast. The Outside. You ain't playing our clip
to the outside.
Listen to the Outside. We're going to go ahead and get into some NFL news, and we're going to start off with the team that we root for, the New York Giants. We'll be right back after these commercial messages, man. Let's get it.
Yeah.
Welcome to New York Giants Full Access with Big Pat Sports Talk, where you get the latest and realest Giants news and content. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe. Want to talk your talk with Big Pat Sports Talk and become an official Big Blue Crew member? Hit the join button in the description. Want to look fly? Get some Big Pat Sports Talk merch? Head over to the Big Pat Sports Shop and grab you some gear. The link is in the description.
New York Giants Full Access, all Giants, all the time. All right, Giants fans. New York Giants Full Access is now live. Enjoy the show.
All right. We talking about some football news here, man. And listen, you know we got to start off with our lowly New York Giants. Now, there was a decision made earlier today that John Mara is going to keep Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. After the tumultuous 3-14 season, we got beat up pretty good this season. Only one home win this season. No divisional wins this season. And we're going to listen to Mr. John Mara on a couple of things on why he kept Brian Daboll and Joe Schoen. Let's listen in.
Joe Schoen and Brian Daboll Friday afternoon for several hours, after which had a conversation with Steve Tisch, and we spoke some more over the weekend and just came to the decision that staying with both of them is the best course of action for us right now. I think in Brian's case, he was the coach of the year 2 years ago. That didn't disappear all of a sudden. I still believe he can do that again. And in Joe's case, I thought we had an outstanding draft class this year. I thought we had a really good free agency period, and I really like the staff that he's put together and built. And I think that they're the right two guys to lead us going forward. I understand, believe me, that that's not going to be the most popular decision in Giant land, but we believe it's the right decision for us going forward.
So Mr. John Mara believes that keeping these two guys is the right decision moving forward. He said they had a very good draft class, which they did because they drafted Drew Phillips, Malik Neighbors set records. You know, Tyrone Tracy did very good as a running back. Newbin was leading the team in tackles before he got hurt. Theo Johnson was doing pretty well before he got hurt when they actually used him in the passing game. You know, and Brian Daboll was a coach of the year two years ago. So with those statements, man, what I truly believe is that I do believe Mara was in on the plans as far as them tanking. I truly believe that. They probably came to him after the 2023 season and said, we want to move off of Daniel Jones, but we don't have, or we don't want to give the draft picks up to go get one of these quarterbacks. And then they decided they did want to give up the picks and everything, but the Patriots stayed still and they couldn't get Drake May. And they didn't want any other quarterbacks as far as J.J. McCarthy or Michael Penix or Bo Nix. So they said, hey, look, we're going to have to be as bad as possible this year to go get a quarterback that we like. We've been looking at Shedeur Sanders for 2 years now. We like Cam Ward. We like Sanders. There's plenty of other quarterbacks that we could get. And like we said in the last podcast, he got sold on hope. And John Mara, I will say this about John Mara, he's a loyal cat. Like, he really wants this to work with these guys, and he does believe that keeping these guys a full length shows that he's willing to get behind his guys, you know, to change this franchise. So I can't be mad at him. I can't be mad at the decision, especially since you were behind the 8 ball and looking for coaches, because all the other teams that lost their coaches, they did it in the mid-season. They were already looking at candidates like the Jets and the Bears. And since Jerod Mayo was fired with the Patriots, you know, Mike Vrabel is pretty much a lock to go over there. Mm-hmm. So what you think about the whole situation in YG?
Man, you know how I feel about John Mara. You know what I'm saying? These Giants. But let me say this. John Mara wants to preach stability, right? There's no other statement in the world to preach stability than bringing back a head coach who had the worst season in your 100-year franchise history.
Yeah, that's crazy.
There's no other way to send a message to the league and any other coach that might come through the New York Giants organization coming down the line, you know, after it's all said and done with this regime. Because amass planes flying over the stadium amidst podcasters such as me and you know, and others, despite media, mainstream media, ESPN, big time television networks screaming at the top of their lungs for you to get rid of Joe Shane and Brian Daboll. And if not both, at least one of them had to go. Mm-hmm. And you went against that grain. I mean, it takes guts. It takes some nuts, man, to be honest with you, man, because you telling your fans, I don't give a damn what y'all think. I'm sticking with my guys. Because the fans clearly gave you the message that they didn't want these guys around. They're not happy with this product on the field. You know, so we shall see how it turns out. You know, we shall see how it turns out, because now you got all the pressure in the world for you to come away with a quarterback, because that's what we're getting sold. I knew we was gonna get sold this hope, you know, quarterback hope. Mm-hmm. You know, quarterback hope, because, and again, you know, salute, man, to people that's kind of been on this though already, but the Giants made this whole entire mess about Daniel Jones. Outright. Because when you look at it, Pat, John Mara basically came out and said the most important thing for us to do this offseason is get a quarterback. So you did not scapegoat the GM. You did not fire the coordinators, anybody in the building, the front office. This whole thing came back on Daniel Jones, and you allowed these guys to come back now that Daniel Jones is not on the roster. Because if Daniel Jones is here, they're gone. See what I'm saying? But yeah, bro, it's a mess over there in Giants land.
Yeah, so speaking of the quarterback position, John Mara had some things to say about the quarterback position going forward. We're going to listen to what Joe Shane has to say too, but let's listen to John Mara first.
Okay.
Keeping them here and seeing what they can do.
That's obviously the number one issue for us going into this offseason is to find our quarterback in the future, whether that be via the draft or acquiring a veteran is going to be up to them to decide.
John, you took it.
So he's saying that they may go acquire a veteran or they're going to go to the NFL draft. So let's listen to what Mr. Joe Shane has to say about it.
So how much of your future success is obviously tied to bringing in a quarterback here in this offseason?
Yeah, it's the most important position in football. And, you look at the roster right now, Tommy's the only quarterback on the roster. So that's definitely, important to any team in the NFL success. So that's something we'll definitely be looking at.
What are you going to be looking at? What skills, what kind of characteristics?
Yeah, I don't want to get into specifics on that, but we've done a lot of work on, the college guys. John mentioned earlier that, we'll look at free agency. We can also look throughout the draft, potential trade opportunities. So, we'll look at any avenue we can, to upgrade the position. And, we've talked before, in these situations, it's, the film is one part of the equation. And then, from a draft standpoint, you really got to get around these kids. And I think it's important, part of our process that we try to get around these kids every year. So when, they are free agents or a trade opportunity presents itself, you've spent an ample amount of time with these guys on who they are as people and their ability to learn and process information.
So they've been looking at quarterbacks for years, like everybody has been saying. Now we're gonna listen to Joe Shane, and he was talked about the whole Shedeur Sanders and Malik Neighbors fiasco that happened in New York City during the Heisman race. So let's see what this is about.
What we can do about that.
What did you think when you saw Shedeur throwing the ball with Malik in the streets?
Yeah. That one caught me off guard. Obviously, I knew, the Heisman Trophy ceremony was in town. I didn't even realize that Shedeur would be in that. I guess he was supporting Travis. But, yeah, that was cool. I mean, unexpected. But, the fact that those two have a relationship, that was – I have not seen that before, an NFL receiver and a quarterback prospect playing catch down, New York City. So that was interesting. What we can do about that.
City.
So you can look at this guy's face. Like, I read people.
Yeah.
It was already written. Like I told the guys on the Shakedown Media, shout out to them brothers, man. Can't wait to start working with those brothers.
Salute.
You don't have to worry about Shedeur Sanders not coming to New York. Shedeur Sanders is coming to New York. You can look at that. The sly guy that he is. You know what I'm saying?
That's good.
That was already put in play when Brandon Brown and him went to Colorado. They already told him that they were taking him. Why do you think he's playing catch with Malik Neighbors in the park? He's wearing New York Giants cleats. He's going around talking about, yeah, I'm going to be the number one pick. But, John Mara told him you got to win me at least one home game.
And he still might be the number one pick because he might be a trade in the works.
And if we go up to 3-1, we will have to give up our number one pick and probably a number 3 pick this year and probably a number 2 or 1 next year in order to do it. But I don't see Deion Sanders letting his kid go to Tennessee or Cleveland.
Not happening.
And if Cleveland takes a quarterback, Cam Ward is going to be that dude. It's not going to be Shedeur Sanders. And I don't think Tennessee is taking a quarterback. I think they're taking Travis Hunter, number 1 overall. It's going to be Travis Hunter, Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders. And guess what? I think Milroe goes to the Raiders since they kept Pierce. And that's why I think that kid came out.
That's
unpopular opinion, but
there you go.
You know what I'm saying? So Shedeur Sanders will be a New York Giant. But the thing that we got to talk about is, can you trust these guys with a quarterback? Because everything that they've given you so far has shown that he's not the guy to get your quarterback trained up to be the quarterback. And then if he's not that guy, he's probably going to be fired after this year. And I got a clip that shows that he's going to be fired after this year because John Mara literally said he's getting impatient, and that means they'll be on the hot seat. Let me find my clip, man. They're literally going to be on the hot seat.
Yeah, it is. But yeah, I think John Mara, man, he's doing a disservice by not giving those guys an extension. Because you're going to bring a young quarterback in here. You don't want to bring guys back on the hot seat. You don't want a lame duck coach and a lame duck general manager, coming in with a new quarterback.
That's a fact. But this looks like it's going to be the case. Listen to this clip right here.
How long will it take to improve the product, John?
It better not take too long, Bruce, because I've just about run out of patience.
You see what I'm saying? You brought these guys back, but you run out of patience with them.
Make it make sense. That's what I'm saying. It's insanity with these guys, man.
And not only did he say he was impatient, he's questioning Brian Daboll about calling the plays. Let's listen to the clip.
They share with you Friday that gives you confidence?
I'm not going to go into all the details.
But fans are going to want to hear something.
I understand that. Obviously, the quarterback is the big issue, and maybe he makes some other changes in the way he operates going forward. I've talked to him about, do you really believe that it's in our best interest for you to continue calling the plays? I said, I'm not going to demand that you do one thing or the other, but are you better off letting somebody else call the plays? And that's a discussion that we're going to continue to have. There are issues like that we have to have some further discussion about. But at the end of the day, he's got to make the decision on whether he does that, on whether he wants to make replacements in the staff. That's got to be his decision at the end.
So
no, he don't. He don't have to make that decision. You already made it for him, John Mara. You've already made that decision for Brian Daboll.
You literally have.
So you think he's gonna come back in the next season after you said what you just said and call plays? You really think that? Like, this is the stuff that I'm talking about. These guys think we're stupid. And we're not. Because I see through y'all's BS. And I call it out every time I see it. And to be honest with you, this is a load of crap, Pat. It stinks from the top all the way down. And I'm telling you, I am sick to my stomach that we're going to be going through this again next year. I hope that's not the case. But bruh, it just ain't lining up for Brian Daboll and these guys to succeed over here. And I love Shedeur Sanders. But unless he's Joe Burrow coming out, which he could be, we ain't gonna be there, man. We are not going to be winning a lot of games next year. And according to this guy, these guys are going to be out of here as soon as that happens. And you rinse, repeat again the same thing you did with Daniel Jones.
You know what I'm saying? Like, didn't we say this? Didn't we say this in early in the season? Like, one of the main reasons why we didn't want those two guys to come back, mainly, really, Dabo, is because we knew that they were going to be on the hot seat, and if they don't have a good year, they will be fired. And you're putting this kid right through the same shit that Daniel Jones went through. And the thing I don't like about these press conferences, there's good and bad to it, but they contradict themselves. Oh, I believe in the process, but I don't want you to call plays.
Right.
Oh, I know these guys are the right guys to have to take us to the next level, but my patience is wearing thin. You took that man in the offense and said the only reason why I'm keeping you dudes here is because you didn't get the quarterback that you want. But you bald head little dude, you're not going to be calling plays. You better get somebody in here that can call some plays. You better get another defensive coordinator in here that can get this defense rolling, because Joe Shane has gotten you some very good picks. He's done very well in free agencies. And you better get this rolling or you're fired. That's exactly what he told him. And Joe Shane, you're gone too because you were a package deal. That's a fact. But those two little snakes, they're so happy because their plan is I guess it actually worked.
Yeah.
They got Daniel Jones out there. Now they're going to be able to get their quarterback. Now, the only good thing I see out of this is Mara. It's so bad. The play calling stuff over there is so bad that even John Mara, like, dude, you need to get somebody to call these plays and get with your team and lead these men, because they're so undisciplined, because you're like this all the time. You're like this.
Mm-hmm.
And you have no culture built like a Sean McVay or a Andy Reid. You know what I'm saying? That you could do that with. Andy Reid can do that all day because he's shown what he is. They believe in him. Okay, Andy, we got you. You know what I'm saying? And the run plays, he really don't even call. Most of the time, he has a person on the staff, normally the offensive coordinator, that does the run game coordination.
Mm-hmm.
But they don't believe in you like that. That's why it's so much dysfunction. And it's so much dysfunction that a player like a Jalen Hyatt will have, things like this to say. It's nothing bad, but you can just tell his attitude. Look at him.
Do you expect more opportunities next year?
We'll see. You see what I'm saying?
You obviously weren't used, I think, the way that a lot of people expected you expected this season. When you meet with Brian and Joe, or if you plan on meeting with Brian and Joe, will you ask for more of a plan on you moving forward? And if you're not going to be involved, is a change of scenery something you'd welcome?
Yeah, we got some talks we gotta have, but we'll see.
So how do you feel about your future here, Joe?
We'll see.
How important is it for you to receive clarity on everything?
Don't know.
You know what I'm saying?
That's a damn shame, bro. Doing that to that kid, man. What you
you
drafting
got players
for?
like this. What you traded up to get the kid. And he doesn't. You featured this kid all off season. You had him starting over Slayton. And then you just make him go to wait. Look at it. Look at his attitude.
Mm-hmm. He don't want to be
It's
here.
over.
Yeah. You can't wait to get up out of
over.
here.
You've literally held this kid back tremendously.
Yeah, on purpose.
Shout out to
You know what I'm
TP.
saying?
He says, I remember NYG saying a while back that he had concern that Dabo would be able to manage the team and call plays, and y'all argue him to death. Just saying, I don't forget much. That's a fact. You need a leader of men.
Yeah. Bro, you got to
Everybody,
think, bro.
Dable need to call plays. I was like, I love the way Kafka called the plays in 2022. Oh yeah, we only scored 21 points a game, but that was pretty damn good with the worst quarterback ever and no weapons and no offensive line and Saquon Barkley. 21 points is pretty good. We can't average 15 with Dable calling the plays.
Jeez. Dog, I'm telling you, man, this is a bad situation, and now you got to look around the league. Who wants to come here and work under these conditions? You know, what coordinators, because you probably gonna have to let go of Kafka and Shane Bowen, both coordinators. What free agents, you know, wants to come here unless you just give them overpay and give them a boatload of money?
Yeah, you got to give them a boatload of money.
What executives, what scouting department wants to come here knowing you got a GM on a hot seat? What, like, who wants to come here and work under this? You know what I'm saying? So now you got an owner that's basically saying, fire your defensive coordinator, fire your offensive coordinator, because you need somebody to come in here and call plays. Because he didn't give Kafka a vote of confidence there. You noticed that, right?
Yeah.
He didn't say, hey,
you gotta let Kafka call the plays.
We would like to see Mike. You said no, you need to give up play calling. That means you not gonna call the plays, and whoever you bringing in here gonna have to call the plays to be the next offensive coordinator. Now,
good catch.
That bro, look, that's how. You know what I'm saying? That's why people aren't gonna want to come here. You know what I'm saying? Because you know that these guys are on the hot seat. You know, and John Mara is forcing Brian Dable, like I said, to hire 2 new coordinators and forcing them to draft a quarterback, which they want to do anyway. But it's like, it's just you changing everything, but what's the real problem? You changed everything. Now you're going to change the quarterback. You didn't change coordinator after coordinator after coordinator. You know what I'm saying? You didn't change everything you possibly can. But what the problem is? Because the problem this whole time, bro, has been what? This offense.
Yeah, that's a fact. And you might waste 2 good defensive coordinators. I do believe Shane Bowen could be a good defensive coordinator if his offense could put up more than 14 points in a game and at home put up more than 7 points per game. What do you expect the defense to do if the offense can only put up 7 points on a good day? You know what I'm saying? It's going to get to the point to where, you know what I'm worried about is it's going to get to the point like if you let these dudes come back and they put out another shit show that nobody's going to want to come here because the faith in John Mara, which is already low, is going to get to its lowest point. Like nobody's going to have any faith in John Mara. Nobody. Why would I come GM this team, dude? Look at the way you let these people just destroy your team. Nobody, you're gonna have, and then when you do bring in another person, you got to do a whole nother rebuild and try to build a whole nother culture. And and these Giants fans, they're so impatient. They're gonna want this shit done in 1 or 2 years. And the way that is being ran, you're gonna need about 3 to 4 years just to build a feel-good culture in that locker room. And then you're gonna have to get a whole nother regime of players because all the players are gonna be from the Dable and Shane era. And now you're gonna have to try to bring in all your. You know what I'm saying? It's just a cycle. It just keeps going and going and going.
You're going to set them back. You're setting your franchise back 10 more years. So
the only way a new person can come in after these 2 dudes is if they just clean house.
Yeah.
You get rid of Thibodeau.
If you clean house, say if they fire, let me talk positive for a minute. It's hard to, but let me spin something. if you do fire these guys next year, that's gonna open up the door for some coaches to come here. Now, will it be an attractive job? Depending on what your quarterback looks like. And if they're bad next year, you're going to have a top pick. So you draft a quarterback this year, they're bad, they're fired, you get a top pick, and your new coach comes in with a new quarterback and some assets to work with. And some players that you probably like on the roster already. And your owner has shown some patience. So, not the worst thing in the world as far as getting people to come to the Giants. I just don't think nobody wants to come here under Dable and Shane. But I think if the job is freed up, this will still be an attractive position in the NFL. And I could tell you some candidates probably wanted that job this year, but Mara, on his BS. So, but yeah, I don't know if you want to spin it to the Jets. Next topic.
Yeah, we'll spin it to the next topic, man. But these Giants, man, they're doing a doozy on us. But let's hope for the best, and let's hope these guys, if they do get their quarterback, they I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say for these guys anymore. But we can go ahead and go into the, the coaching carousel. We could talk about some of these coaches that were released, and we could go into the Jets. Let's go into the Jets first. All right, as we know, man, the New York Jets fired their head coach, and this man in the TV screen, they don't know if they're coming back. Aaron Rodgers is coming back, but let's listen to what him and I always forget her name, but she's been reporting.
Pam Oliver?
Yeah, Pam Oliver. Let's see what he had to say to Pam Oliver.
Aaron, it was really nice to watch. You were out there. You had fun. You had joy. Just tell us what this meant to you tonight.
It didn't start off the right way. It was special. Anytime you get to get on the field, do something you've been loving since you were a kid, it's special. So thankful for the ability to be healthy out here. I'm thankful for the guys that come to work with every single day. They make it a lot of fun. Disappointing season for sure, but it's a fun way to end the night.
We all know what time it is, so give us a sense of your process. What will you do in the coming days and coming months before you decide what it is you want to do for your next path?
I'm going to get home and relax. I'm going to clear out my head and get healthy from the bumps and bruises from the season. And just, I got a lot of gratitude right now. I'm going to enjoy this tonight, but once I get back out west, I'm going to, take my time, and I'm not going to hold anybody up. I'm going to have conversations tomorrow with everybody here with the Jets and see what they're thinking, and then make a decision before it gets too late in the offseason.
Whatever you do, all the best.
I love you, Pam.
Love you back.
Thank you.
All right, so that's Aaron Rodgers speaking on, the end of the season.
Boy, this.
Oh man.
I tell you, man.
This Jets team.
Well, I tell you,
Mr. Aaron Rodgers or Karen Rodgers, whatever you want to call them. They were supposed to be Super Bowl contenders this year, and I think they finished the season 5-12, something like that. And there's been a lot of conversations having about Aaron Rodgers. He got Rob Saleh fired. They didn't do nothing after that. Got the offensive coordinator, in his back pocket. Held the franchise hostage this year. Brought over Devontae Adams, and they had to take on his whole contract. That normally doesn't happen in the NFL. And then Devontae Adams comes over there, and they finish just as bad as the Raiders did. You see what I'm saying? Why would you follow this dude again that left you hanging over there in Green Bay? It doesn't make any sense. The reason why you went to the Raiders is because Aaron Rodgers didn't step up for you to get paid. But you follow him over there to the New York Jets, brought over Alan Lazard, trash. Got Mike Williams thrown out of New York, and he goes over to Pittsburgh, and now he's playing in the playoffs. You got Bryce Hall and my boy from Wisconsin, the running back that I wanted here.
Braylon Allen. Yeah.
Braylon Allen. I wanted him in New York blue, not green. One of the best defenses assembled out there. And you go 5-12 with an all-world quarterback. And now he's talking about, he's going to go back to the West and go back to his cave. You know, do some hallucinating drugs or whatever he does. And now your new head coach that comes over, whether it be a Rex Ryan or whoever it is, and your new GM that comes over, whether it be a Louis Riddick, they have to decide if they want to keep this 41-year-old problem here in the building, which I don't think, if it's Rex Ryan and Louis Riddick, he is gone. Neither one of them dudes not putting up with any of that garbage. Him and Rex Ryan will be fighting in that mud.
Rex Ryan said it.
Yeah. Rex Ryan said it, man. I get the coaching job and he ain't coming back.
Yeah.
So that makes me a little bit worried for the New York Giants. Well, it really doesn't, because more than likely the Browns will trade out of the number 2 position and they'll probably take Cam Ward, or he might sit where he at and he might take Melrose. As far as Louis Riddick, because Louis Riddick gets that job, there will be some chocolate in New York City at the quarterback position. I promise you that.
I think it's going to be both teams.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And to be honest with you, I could honestly see the Jets going the veteran route. Just because that team already has a lot of talent. It has a lot of young pieces, and it has a lot of particularly on the defensive end, you know, they got some offensive pieces too. We'll see what they do with my man Garrett Wilson. But hey, you know, if you got some free agents out there, if you want to, I think Devontae Adams is gone. I would let him and Aaron Rodgers go. And Russell Wilson's out there, Kirk Cousins. Be crazy to bring back Sam Darnold, but hey, who knows? I just think that Justin Fields. I just think that I see them. I see that the route, because if you're the Jets, I mean, you can go up and get a young quarterback, or you know, you can try to compete right now in your division. You just beat the Dolphins. They're down. I think they're about to make some Tyreek Hill one side of there, you know. We talked about that. And the Patriots are rebuilding, you know. So you got you and the Bills. So, I mean, you could level up real quick here if you get some competent quarterback play and a couple weapons.
Mm-hmm.
So, or you could chase a rookie quarterback, roll the dice, come in, and it might not be what you expect. And guess what? You're gone. You're fired.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? But hey, at least with a veteran, rack up some wins, you know, be competitive, you know, right off the bat. And then you could start exploring options of possibly trading up or possibly getting a quarterback of another way. You know what I mean? But interesting thing you talked about with the Jets, Pat, was the coaching search, because they are bringing a lot of coaches in.
Yes, they are.
I mean, left and right. You know, you talk about Rex Ryan. You know, they want to talk to Flores. Wouldn't that be interesting? They reached out.
You bring Brian Flores over there, it's gonna be a problem.
Yeah. But notice they talking to defensive-minded coaches.
Yeah, because that's what New York is based off of. Tough-minded defensive-type coaches. Although Tom Coughlin had an offensive background, he was a defensive-minded type coach. Like most of those guys that are CEO coaches are defensive type coaches, bro.
Yep.
That's just a fact.
Mm-hmm.
But I do think the Jets would be very, very interesting if they brought in Louis Riddick and Rex Ryan. Oh, or they brought in Louis Riddick and Flores. Oh my goodness.
Mm-hmm.
Flores with that defense, it's gonna be a problem. It's gonna be an absolute problem. Rex Ryan with that defense would be pretty good, but I know Flores will have that defense playing outstanding. And if he could get somebody in there with an offensive mind that could get that offense with Garrett Wilson, 2 very good running backs, 2 very good tight ends, and they have some receiving talent.
Got plenty to work with, man. I'm telling you.
Very interesting job to have over there with the Jets. But we're going to get to Jay Glazer and let him talk about the coaching carousel that could happen this year. So let's listen to Jay Glazer, because you know if he says it, more than likely it's 100% true.
Facts.
I tell you, it's not a fun time of year for everyone. As always, Jay, as a look at the potential coaching carousel as we head into the final Sunday, what do we know?
This is when I take a deep breath and try and get through all this, right? All right, first of all, we're going to go with who's out. Usually this list is a lot longer coming into today, but we only have 4 that we absolutely know about. It's the 3 interims and then Doug Peterson down there in Jacksonville, but that is actually looked at as a really coveted position. They got a quarterback down there, no state tax down there, an owner who doesn't meddle. I think the Bears also know that you have Caleb Williams. I know somebody's going to want to come and say, I can get this guy to be a star. All right, let's move on now to I think is safe. All right, look, you have 2 guys up there, Zach Taylor and Todd Bowles. Even if they don't make the playoffs, both of those guys are safe. And Nick Sirianni is the one that in Philadelphia, people are saying, well, if he doesn't win a playoff game, could he be out? No, I don't think he is. I think he's safe. But let's go now to the time will tell. And there's really a lot of question marks here. We're going to start here straight in New York with Brian Daboll. And look, the sentiment around the league is that Joe Schoen is in, Brian Daboll's out. I don't think that's the case. I think Brian Daboll ends up being safe out there.
And he was absolutely right.
Dead on.
Antonio Pierce wound up being safe, which I'm very
Mike
happy
McCarthy,
about.
I think he's safe too.
Mike McCarthy is safe.
They're all safe except Jerod Mayo.
Are safe, but Jerod Mayo was the guy that got the boot.
I think both come back to New York. Mike McCarthy, he's obviously going to have a conversation later this week with Jerry Jones about what happens there. Hasn't been given any indication whatsoever. But Antonio Pierce right now, I know that owner, Howie, also still has not made a decision what he does with Antonio Pierce and their general manager, Tom Telesco, as well. Jerod Mayo, here's the one that people inside the building really have a question mark about. They're scratching their heads of what's going to go on here. I know even if he comes back, there's going to be some changes over on that staff. But does, the Kraft say to themselves, man, how do we get rid of a guy after 1 year after getting rid of Bill Belichick? That's a big question.
They did it quite quickly.
Right? A rookie quarterback also who everybody says he's going to be really, really good. Kevin Stefanski, he's already made some moves there in his staff. I think he's going to be good. And finally, Shane Steichen and Brian Callahan. Look, Shane Steichen, I do believe he comes back, but the owner, you just never know. He's not giving any indication. Usually you kind of tell if you're going to be out. He's not been given any indication that that's going to be the case. And Brian Callahan, I know he's won, right? He's just his first time out. I don't know if he's going to be a one and done here. I know the owner is not happy with what's going on. I think you can see some change in the organization. Whether it's the head coach or not remains to be seen.
Yeah, I know these coaches are nervous, but I tell you who's more nervous is a bunch of assistant coaches for all these staffs.
Absolutely.
Right. Who are some of the candidates that might fill these jobs?
All right, let's go to that, right? There's actually a great list of candidates. Look, we start with the offense. And obviously, once again, Ben Johnson, he's the belle of the ball. But I think he actually is more apt to take a job this year than he was a year ago. Arthur Smith, what did he do with those quarterbacks early on the season, right? He got Russ and Cook, actually, and Justin Fields. He's going to be top of a lot of lists. Mike McCarthy, if he's out there, he develops quarterbacks, he wins. He's on a lot of lists. And, you have some of these other guys, like Liam Cohen, Cliff Kingsbury. I think they're going to get some looks as well. Let's go to the defensive coaches. All right, defensive coaches, Mike Vrabel. He is very high up on a lot of these teams' lists. Already interviewed for the Jets, going to interview for the Bears later this week. Aaron Glenn, I think he's on pretty much every team's list. But guys, there is one candidate out there that's going to surprise you all that no one knows is on list, and he is. And that candidate,
Bill Belichick.
Kevin.
That's what it looked like.
Kevin O'Connell. There are multiple teams that actually are considering trying to trade
Wow.
for Kevin O'Connell. And the reason why, next year, the last year of his deal, had no contract talks yet at all. And look, if you're a team out there saying, why not take a shot? See if we can do it. Maybe the Vikings don't let it happen, but also Kevin O'Connell kind of has the card saying, hey, listen, I'm not going to resign there, so you might as well get something for me. Now, I don't know, because obviously I don't think Kevin knows about this right now, but there are multiple teams who have them on that board to say, let's at least try and see if we can trade.
And I got to say, if you're Kevin O'Connell, the success he's had, you're surprised they haven't locked him down.
Right, you are.
That
right?
would be offensive.
Yeah. Right? Yeah.
I think he was surprised.
Yeah.
Well, whatever it takes in a trade, I think you trade for him.
Yeah,
he's worth it.
He's definitely.
He's definitely one of those guys that's one of those offensive guys that's shown that he can be a leader of men.
Mm-hmm.
And you would definitely have to give up a first-round pick to get Kevin O'Connell as a coach. But out of that coaching carousel, I did see some of the candidates that I would want for the New York Giants as a head coach if they were available. But we're keeping our guys, so I don't know who that our New York Giants will bring in as an offensive coordinator or a defensive coordinator, because most of those guys are going to be looking for head coaching jobs. They're not going to be making lateral moves.
Yeah.
But there's one guy over there in Cleveland that got fired, the offensive coordinator. What was his name? Joe Brady. Yeah, Joe Brady. Former quarterback. He was a quarterback's coach.
Ken Dorsey?
Ken Dorsey. There you go.
That's who it was.
Ken Dorsey was a quarterback's coach.
I get them confused for some reason.
All the time, bro. Ken Dorsey was actually the quarterback's coach under Brian Daboll when he was the offensive coordinator with the Bills. But what do you think about trading a draft pick for Kevin O'Connell? Any team that's looking for a head coach, would you do it? Do you think it would be a good move to make? And why haven't the Vikings locked this guy up, man? He's turned that team around, bro. Like, seriously.
That's crazy. If I was any of them teams in the top half of the draft looking for or about to draft a quarterback, I would be on the phone with the Vikings about Kevin O'Connell. Look, if I'm the Giants, I don't give a damn what John Mara just said. If Kevin O'Connell becomes available, sorry, Brian, tough business, man, but we're gonna have to let you. But hey, look, you're getting paid, right? Sayonara, because this is a real quarterback guru.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying. This guy can develop a quarterback for a fact. It's proven. You know, so if I'm in, even not the Giants, you know, I know we got Giants bias here sometimes, but, you know, if I'm the Browns, if I'm the Titans, you know, if I'm the Raiders even, I love Antonio Pitts.
If I'm the Bears, I'm definitely giving him a call. I already got my quarterback in place. Yep. And if he can take that quarterback to the next level, Patriots, definitely giving that guy a call, man. But it makes the most sense for the Bears because he's already played in the NFC North. He knows all the teams already. And you're competing with Jordan Love. You're competing with Jared Goff. And then I think the Vikings take a nosedive if that dude leaves.
I think the Bears, the one thing about the Bears thing, though, is the Cliff Kingsbury connection to Caleb Williams. I see that. And they've had a phenomenal season in Washington. And I think that dude's going to be back in the head coaching carousel. Yeah. And I do think
what he did with Jaden Daniels.
Yeah. So I do see them probably going. At least he will probably be high on their list, you know. But that being said, Kevin O'Connell is an upgrade over all them cats. You know what I'm saying? Just to be real with you, you know what I'm saying. So that's just interesting to see, you know, because since Sean Payton, you know, and what he's doing with Bo Nix, you're going to start to see these teams go after these guys that, you know, are good with quarterbacks. And everybody telling me the Giants got one, but I have failed to see any evidence of such.
Right. We got the worst of the bunch, but you know. But speaking of quarterbacks, Mr. LaShawn McCoy
he always
goes off on the Jacksonville Jaguars and the quarterbacks being paid in general sounded like your boy Big Pat Sports Talk. But hey, we're going to listen to Shady McCoy and see what's going on, man, over there in his mind. Let's get it.
And I keep talking about the league is confused right now. All we want to do is just get a quarterback, right? Because he plays the position, he's up for his contract, and if wherever he's drafted high at, we got to keep him. And now the results of that is look at Doug Peterson getting fired. Doug Peterson's a really, really good coach. He's a winning coach. He comes from Andy Reid tree, so you know what that's about, right? If you look at his whole path, now he's actually one of the coordinators that coach for the Chiefs that actually call plays. Yeah. Okay, he does that well. Then he goes to Philadelphia. What's he do there? He wins a championship. He don't win it with Carson Wentz. He was with Nick Foles. You get what I'm saying? Then he goes to Jacksonville. They say, okay, we need somebody to save our quarterback because he's really not that good, but we took him number 1 pick overall, so we got to do something about it. You bring him in there, he helps Trevor Lawrence out, but how much can you help a guy that's not that good, right? And then you pay these quarterbacks, you give them all this money, and now when they don't do well because they're not that good of a player, and now you got to blame somebody. Who do you blame? Let's blame the head coach. But you're going to blame a winning head coach that's been winning his whole life. It don't make sense. That's why I'm saying the league is messed up because now we just go out there and paying these guys. The same issues happening in Miami Dolphins, right? I mean, Tua, forever he was regular as regular can be his first couple years. They get a really, really good coach to get some nice weapons in there, and now, okay, let's get our quarterback, right? We try to save the day. They had some good moments, whatever. They go to playoffs, they get smoked because the quarterback's not that good. He's hurt every other year. He's not playing well. So now the result of that is your head coach gets fired. I can go to so many different teams that's happening like this. And it's like we're going to blame somebody because you're not going to blame the quarterback. Let's go back to making these guys earn it. Listen, bro, if I'm going to pay you this type of money and be a franchise quarterback, you got to earn that. And then when you earn that, you won't have good coaches getting fired. Yeah. Because now you got to go on this whole coaching research to find a good coach. When you already have one, and then you go out there, you might make a mistake because you're trying to find something to help out your quarterback. And it's sad because I know Doug Peterson personally. I remember when my Hall of Fame game, they played the Jaguars. Yeah. And I told him before the game, and I won't say on TV what we talked about, but me and him, we both understood what's going on. I said, Doug, good luck with everything because they got you under so much pressure. You got to cover up for how bad and overrated your quarterback is. And no matter what coach you bring in there for Trevor Lawrence, it could be Urban Meyer from college that was really, really successful. It could be a Doug Peterson that's been really, really successful. It don't matter. Now, if you get Andy Reid, it might be different. But anybody else, they can't save Trevor Lawrence and the Jaguars. He's not a good player. I think.
Oh, my goodness. Now, NYG. Haven't I been speaking the same sentiments for the past 3 years?
Yeah.
That these quarterbacks are not everything to a team and that they're grossly overpaid and you don't need these dudes to win games like that? I've mentioned that before. I said Doug Peterson won a Super Bowl with Nick Foles. It wasn't even the guy that was the highly paid guy in Carson Wentz. Who's Nick Foles? We could go through the quarterback list. He was talking about Trevor Lawrence. Well, I said it's just Daniel Jones that looks like Prince Charming. Who you knew what you're talking about? Okay. Tua Tagovailoa. Justin Herbert, who didn't get better until he got with a real coaching guru, but they were saying it was all Justin Herbert before Jim Harbaugh got over there. We got all these quarterbacks getting paid. It's so many quarterbacks out there getting paid that are quote-unquote mid. And you got the nerve to worry about Daniel Jones' contract? Look at what Jalen Hurts is getting paid. Look what the Browns are going through with Deshaun Watson.
Yeah. And
then if Jalen Hurts and them don't win a playoff game, guess what? You're finna lose A.J. Brown, and then you're going to put it all back on Jalen Hurts, and then what?
Ain't going to work. It hurts. Here's the thing about the quarterbacks, man. The quarterback is important to the team, but when you pay and put so much of your resources into one position, you know, and start neglecting other areas of your team, you know, that's usually when you get in trouble. You know, they get these quarterbacks and they don't put nothing around them. You know what I'm saying? That's what hurts the quarterback. You know, so again, these quarterbacks ain't all that, you know, but if you're going to draft one, wouldn't you want that said quarterback to be set up the best possible way that they can, you know? And now head coaches come into bad situations and with no talent around them, Jerod Mayo, you know, whether you got the quarterback or not, you're still expected to win games and do well. And that's what's tough in the NFL. You know, that's why what you're saying is correct. The best way to build a team is through the trenches from the inside out, then get your quarterback because you already have that structure. You're making it easier. You're making the path to success easier. You know, you want it to be as easy, as smooth as possible. You know, is only a few quarterbacks that can come in and, you know, change the team around instantly. You know, transcendent. That's just not, it just doesn't happen that way in the NFL. You know, you gotta get the right guy with the right between his ears.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And you gotta have the right coach that can get what's in between the ears out, because that's where most quarterbacks fail. I just looked at one in New York with the Giants.
That's a fact.
Got skills, bro, but I promise you that's where 99% of these quarterbacks fail. They all got arm talent. They all can move, and they all got some type of athletic ability. Otherwise, you wouldn't be drafted. It's this.
Yeah. It's that mental.
Because I seen a dude with they said had a noodle of an arm, and Chad Pendleton, you know, damn near borderline Hall of Famer. Because he was good, you know. And I'm pretty sure there's other examples, Pat. You know NFL history. That one always comes to my mind because it was during my era. They always talked about this dude's arm strength every season. And he would just go out there and go 21 to 25 for 275 yards and 2 touchdowns. I'm like, didn't matter.
Then you got the guys. You got the guys on the other spectrum that have all the talent in the world but no brain.
Mm-hmm. Right.
Marcus Russell could throw 80 yards off his ass, not his knee, his ass. You know how much arm talent you got to be to sit down and throw it 80 yards?
Mm-hmm.
This is what, but if you ain't got no brain, this is what happens.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
No. What's the guy that got drafted after Peyton Manning? Ryan Leaf.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Guess what? Another guy that went pretty high. Jeff George.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Jay Cutler.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
I'm telling you, it's a bunch of those.
On and on and on, bro.
On and on. Oh, and Giants fans love this one. Daniel Jones.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
I'm telling you, it's so many quarterbacks. I can play that all day long, bro. All day long. But you got guys like freaking Stan Humphries that can make it to the Super Bowl with the Chargers. Nick Foles can win a Super Bowl with the Eagles. Brad Johnson, as trash as he was, won a Super Bowl with the Buccaneers. You know what I'm saying? Yep, Anthony Richardson.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
Can't do it. You know, there's so many quarterbacks out there that are just, you know, they're just hyped up for no reason. Trey Lance.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
You know what I'm saying? Mac Jones.
Cannot play with him. Cannot win with him. Cannot coach with him. Can't do it.
I could do it all night long, bro. But,
But
I've
yeah,
been talking about these quarterbacks for years. But we're gonna go ahead and get to the last segments of the show, man. This has been a dope show.
Yeah,
got a little bit of sleaze out there with you. Got a little bit of jokes out there, and we got another former NBA player talking about another NBA player that's very well known as to being soft. So after these commercial breaks, we'll be right back, man. Welcome to the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. All right, man. A little bit of NBA going out the show, man. Mr. Brandon Jennings has a controversial opinion about Jayson Tatum. He says Jayson Tatum is soft. One of the softest superstars he's ever seen.
Damn, word.
And you know, Agent Zero and everybody they were talking. You got people heated, and he got heated. So let's listen to a little bit of the conversation, man. Crazy.
Like if I'm soft to the Warriors, why can't you drop me?
Because they stopped them.
It's a bad argument. Use something.
It's not a bad argument. If you're so tough, then why you didn't get Finals MVP last year? Why you let your running mate do it? If you're so tough, if you're so all this.
But
no.
Didn't lead the Celtics in points, rebounds,
He
and
led in every category.
Why you didn't get it? 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 If you're so tough, no, it's not. It's not a bad narrative. No, it ain't.
It's really
no, it ain't.
Quiet, man. He sit back too much and just let people talk about him. He don't
He's a professional, though.
Yo, is he the softest Boston
that
Celtics
ain't being
superstar ever?
professional. That's being soft sometimes.
The softest? It crash out time.
I'm asking.
Crash out. We don't know what soft is.
I mean,
the quietest.
Soft. No, soft.
It might be soft.
Soft. No, soft.
Stop
No.
talking about my champion like that.
Soft, like Jaylen Brown.
Watching the game the other day when they lost to Cleveland. That was
with the capital or lowercase there. Soft is when you're getting punked around the court, right? That's soft.
Okay.
You don't get
soft. You're not saying anything. That's not.
What do we know? What do we know about Boston Celtics players? Like anybody that put on us Boston Celtics, like jersey from the 80s on up.
Yeah, they rough.
They what? They cutthroat, right?
Yeah.
Who?
Blue
Boston
collar.
Celtics players.
Blue
Like
collar.
Boston Celtics, they're cutthroat.
No.
Yeah.
What?
Blue collar?
They are.
Since the 80s,
Even the crowd, even the fans is like.
Not in a while.
Wait, hold on. Wait. The Paul Pierce.
Paul Pierce
and Antoine Walker.
Paul Pierce, they cutthroat.
No, they was not.
Cutthroat.
Them niggas doing the shimmy, chucking threes, doing this shit.
Does Tatum get punished because the Celtics squad is so good?
No, I just think his running mate. Okay, I shouldn't probably not soft or whatever.
Yeah,
but
another word maybe.
I just think his running mate Jaylen Brown is more like.
You know, it was very controversial by Mr. Brandon Jennings saying Jayson Tatum is soft. And that's not the Celtics' way as far as their superstars go, even though they won the championship last year. But they were on a major heat if they didn't get that championship last year, and people would have started calling them soft. So you're the NBA guy. Do you agree with Brandon Jennings right there? Do you agree that Jayson Tatum is soft? Even though he retracted, he said he maybe shouldn't have said soft, but let's just go with that angle.
There was some things, you know, during the Summer Olympics, you know, about Tatum, you know, kind of being buried on the bench, not really getting the time, and, you know, it was kind of that was kind of a little bit of the narrative, you know. Some of them European boys a little bit more.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? And Tatum wasn't. But hey, whether the guy is soft or you think he's soft or not, you know, I think this whole league is soft, bro. To be honest with you. You know what I'm saying? I ain't gonna hold you. I think this whole league is soft, and yeah, I mean, guy, look, could he be tougher? Everybody ain't gonna be Draymond Green, Dennis Rodman, bro. Like, even at the power forward position. So, I wouldn't call the guy soft. He's an NBA champion. I can't go there, even though I hate the Celtics. I'm gonna be honest with you. I don't like those guys over there in green, but to call an NBA champion, an Olympian, you know, future Hall of Famer, soft in this NBA, I can't honestly do it.
Yeah, I think I'm just gonna, come out and say it, man. I think this is another case of the me type thing. He's not a me type player. You see what I'm saying? And those guys that are mild mannered, they don't try to get in nobody's face. They don't, they don't want to start shit. They're just good at what they do. And he won. Like, I think Jayson Tatum would get more respect if he was a rah-rah guy that didn't win no championship. But Brandon Jennings, I'm gonna be honest with you, that's you. You were a little rah-rah type dude, but you were never a championship caliber player.
Right. Mm-hmm.
So what gets more respect? Me being a rah-rah dude all in the camera and talking noise and I'm this, I'm that? Or the dude that's laid back, that's real cool, that has a mind for the game, and is a leader of his team? Because you can't say that he's not a leader because they follow him. And gets his team a championship.
That's true.
Who do you respect more? I know who the smarter people will respect. You know what I'm saying? I respect the dude that's a real leader and led his team to a championship. That averaged more points than what you did. Has more accolades than what you did. One thing you got over Jayson Tatum is you got a bigger mouth. He ain't got to fight you. We ain't fighting. We playing basketball. We're trying to win championships. This ain't no fight.
Yeah. I'm not. Look, all I got to do is step back and shoot over you. If
all day long.
And I don't have to go to the post. This ain't the 90s. I get it. If I don't got to go to the post, who are you? Who are you to call me soft? That ain't the way the game is played today. You know what I'm saying? If you sneeze on somebody, they getting a foul call. So, like, bro, it's a different game. Can't call the guy soft in this era. You know? Now, in 90s basketball, bully ball, Jayson Tatum would not survive.
Yeah, he wouldn't survive in 90s bully ball. But it's not 90s bully ball.
It's not 90s bully ball, so.
Yeah. And Jennings, you wouldn't have survived during that time either.
Yeah, damn right. Damn right. Shut your mouth.
Right. This is probably what it looked like. They was in a fight.
Michael, I'm gonna tell you, you ain't so bad without your boys. You ain't bad. You ain't nothing. You know. Yo, Michael, I'm gonna tell you, you better beat it, man. You better beat it. Tito. No, Michael didn't swing on me. No, you didn't swing on me. No, damn it, I'm down with your man. I brought Latoya's out.
You can Tatum beating up Brandon Jennings. But man, I love that episode of Mark. We're gonna get in a little bit more comedy before we get out of here and give you one messy topic before we get out of here. But listen, this is Stephen A. Smith's nephew. And he's talking about the hereditary hairline that he has being Stephen A. Smith's nephew. This is pretty funny.
Always ask, like, is Stephen A. really your uncle? Because, his hair and this and that. I'm like,
what's wrong with his hair?
My hairline has nothing to do with hereditary.
Oh,
Women did this.
Whoa, I was gonna say, because I've only seen you with a hat on. I've only seen you with a hat on until this moment.
Women, I've been bald since I was 22.
So you just had
I'm walking
to
off now.
Wow.
Y'all got me exposing myself. Let me get this mic off.
I hope y'all enjoyed the show. Stephen A. signing off until next time. That's it, y'all.
All right, man. You know, that's hilarious. Yo, if you ever checked out Stephen A's nephew, man, that dude's pretty funny, man. That dude's pretty funny. It's always good to have a little humor in sports, man. Glad that he's letting his family get on, you know. Even though I don't know what Stephen A. Smith, you know, what he does and what he is, but good that he's letting his nephew get on. You know, you can bring the jokes out there. It's pretty doggone funny, man. But hey, you know, you gotta get you a laugh, even though it's sports. You gotta get you a laugh here and there, man. That man took that hat off. That man hairline is back here. If he wasn't bald, you would see it. You would have half of a Sherman Hemsley. He said he's had that since he was 22.
22. That's crazy work, bro. That is crazy work, bro.
But we're gonna get to the last messy with Fox Sports 1 in a second, man. So there's been reports that Miss Joy Taylor and Shannon Sharp and Skip Bayless are all in a lawsuit about harassment at the business, you know, thing and with Fox Sports 1, you know, and they're saying that Joy Taylor slept her way to the top, and the hairdresser that was her hairdresser has times, dates, and people that she's messed around with. One of those guys was the top guy at Fox Sports 1, was the reason why she was actually put in to be the little co-host on Undisputed, because everybody remembers she was in Miami as a radio host and a bartender. If you don't know, Joy Taylor is Jason Taylor's sister, the Hall of Famer, the edge rusher. That's his little sister.
Yeah.
So said she was, you know, messing around with the Fox Sports 1 head guy as far as the talent and being a producer, and he got her on there when Undisputed. And it goes even further to say, to get on that one show, Speak for Yourself, she was sleeping with Emmanuel Acho. It got that position of Speak for Yourself. And if you go through the lawsuit, it says that Skip Bayless tried to pay the hairdresser $1.5 million.
Good God.
To sleep with her.
Is it that good?
Obviously, it must be. My goodness. And then Joy Taylor, while she was married and while she got divorced and then got engaged to Earl Watson. You remember Earl Watson? I think he played with the Jazz.
Yeah, little point guard. Yeah, little short
He
guy.
was messing around with the Fox Sports 1 guy. That's why she got divorced from the ex-husband, and Earl Watson called off the engagement. And they said the hairdresser had a conversation with Joy Taylor, and she was warning her of the danger of sleeping with the Fox Sports 1 guy and Emmanuel Acho at the same time. And it was reported that she said, it's okay, because once I don't need the Fox Sports 1 representative anymore, I'm just going to me to him. I'm just going to say that he forced himself on me. And that way he will never be able to kick me out of the ESPN, you know, circles. It's a lot of mess that going on. Remember, it was reports that, and it was pictures showing that her and Shannon Sharp were kind of close. They were going to games together. It's weird, man.
Tapping that thing.
Man, they said she has been passed around, and there are more names that will be coming out in the future about Miss Joy Taylor's extracurricular activities over there at Fox.
That's wild, bro.
That's wild, man. They got Skip Bayless groping women, and that's why he left. And it's weird, bro. But you got anything to say about that, man?
I mean, bro, it's one of those things where you look at this, and as a man, you're like, there it is. There it is.
Mm-hmm.
There it is. That's what we've been talking about. It's stuff like this. Now, from Joy or women's standpoint, this ain't a good look. Ain't a good look at all. You setting people up. For you setting them up to go down, because we all see how these things play out in the public eye. Once there's an accusation, you're the bad guy. Whatever the woman says is automatically deemed as true until proven otherwise. And in this situation, didn't get that far. She got caught. So, and as far as the ESPN and them cats is concerned, I Skip Bayless. 1.5, bro. You was willing to pay that much for the booty? Like, bro, seriously?
Man. But yeah, it's a little bit of mess.
It's nasty work, bro. Nasty work, man.
Yeah, I don't understand that, man. You Skip Bayless, you paying $1.5 million for, man. That's crazy. Ain't nothing worth no $1.5 million, G. I'm Skip Bayless. I could go get something anywhere.
I mean, you would think, but maybe he can't. Maybe they ain't. Maybe it just, you just. And you know what I think, yo? Before we end it, I think some of them dudes are so lame. They've been paying for box for their whole life, and that's just who they are. They just pay for it. Fuck the games, fuck the negotiation, fuck the let's skip all the extra stuff. Straight to the point, straight to the transaction. I'm cutting in line, bitch. Straight to the front. Here, I got the money. Move out my way.
All that money and fame, bro. You can't get no ass. Woo, that's tough, man. I got 50 million in the bank and I still can't. Yeah. Make you do some crazy things like offer 1.5 million. It took that 1.5 million and created a whole grocery store for everybody. I don't know.
Man, bro, you could have took 1.5 million and opens you up a sex shop if you want to.
Right, that's a fact. Yeah, I could. Never mind. Anyway,
I'm just saying, bro. Yeah,
it's that serious, brother. Me a gabble of them in there, man. What? Anyway, man, I'd like to thank you guys for tuning in to the Outside, man. Your top late night sports talk show, man. We go through all topics, man. NBA, NFL, Messi. It's just a fun time here on the Outside Podcast, and I'm glad to be able to do this with you guys, man. Big Pat Sports Talk. Like and subscribe to my personal channel, and like and subscribe to NYG22 Unpopular Opinion Sports, his personal channel, Unpopular Opinion Sports. And this has been the Outside. Man, y'all better hit that like and subscribe button, man, for the Big Blue Crew Sports Network, man. The Outside Podcast right here on the Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Start for you at 10:30 p.m. Eastern and lasting however long we want to do it, man. Got your funky beats, man. You got the music, you got the vibe. Just giving you a different feel to sports talk, man. And you guys got any subjects that you want us to cover, let us know in the Big Blue Crew Twitter chat. Let us know Tell us what you want us to talk about, and go follow us on Twitter, man. Big Blue Crew Sports Network. Big Blue Crew Sports Net. You're gonna be getting articles. You're gonna be getting Twitter shows, man. We might just start some Twitter content for you guys, man. It's been an absolute blast doing this show for you guys tonight. NYG, you got anything to tell these guys before we get up out of here, man?
Man, I ain't got nothing to say, but I'm gonna take y'all to the outside.
That's a
fact.
We'll break it down real quick, yo. Hey, yo, look, dog, I bought villas, stayed in resort Skrilla. I was store killer, I store killers. Man, I caught killers, just on 4 killers. Cat frontin', 4 killers. Who more realer? Weed in the 4-wheeler. F Mike, till you see me, never saw a thriller. Fist scale, 4 reelers. Dirty whore want me to go. Raw William, smart Pisces. Fresh from the hard slices. You got heart fighty, I dare you to part wifey. I'm Anthony, I do things the harder way. Pardon me, escalate, marmalade, mama stay. And I send the wolf stars a plate. And the dude copper car today, color peach Chardonnay. And I clap at your man, got the clappers. Clap at his hands. Only thing he ever clapped was his hands. He'll get butt raped, duct tape the Michelin man. That's it, get in this van. Listen to Ken, maggot. Get in this van. Listen to Ken, maggot. Listen, let's bring it back. You know why? Cause this is the man with casket. Shit in the fan. Business my spam. Listen to man, listen. I missed the era of the BMVPs. I was ducking GMDC. Had that scope aiming the light ship. Seen all hours. Came Mr. Riker. Contact.
Thanks for watching the Outside Podcast. Tune in weekdays at 10 p.m. Eastern. Like and subscribe.
Pray to Elijah. Don't play okay. Just pray out a sniper. Cause with the SK, doggy, I'm okay. My AK was my AKA before my ABCs. I had A-OK. I'll show you how to make 2 million out your deal. For the right price, I can get you out your deal. Smack the CEO. That's when they tell you soon. 4 mil from Def Jam and I ain't selling record for him.